Hello everyone, it's me, Anthony Couch, guitarist on YouTube. Today talking about weird, horrible sounds. Now, before I get into it, I'm not talking about gear or weird amp settings. Go to other channels for that kind of stuff. There's other amazing channels that go into all that weird stuff. No, I'm talking about what I like to talk about. Music theory. I've been doing experiments with music theory, and it resulted in some sounds that when I first heard them I thought, this is horrible. But then over time it's become a bit of an acquired taste. And that's what today is all about pushing yourself in terms of listening to stuff that pushes your taste, expands your taste and your horizons, which can only be a good thing when it comes to being creative, being a musician. Make sure you stick around later because you're going to hear a bit of a guitar jam solo of me demonstrating what the finished experiments sounded like. And before I get on to today, I want to know down there in them comments, who do you think is the most creative musician out there? It doesn't have to be a guitarist. Let me know, who's the most creative musician? Comment below. So, mods. I have to pitch these videos at a certain point. I don't know who's watching. I mean, I've got my incredible regular subscribers who always comment down there and let me know that they watched. But when I do these videos, I have to just press go and then just talk and assume a certain ability on this imaginary person that I'm talking to. So the imaginary person that I'm talking to today understands modes of the major scale and what that means, because what I've been doing is, in my own playing, I've been experimenting with this fusion style of playing, and I've been coming at modes, but from the angle of modes of the melodic minor scale. You might be familiar with Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixed Lydian, Aeolian, Locrian. They're the 7 major modes, or modes of the major scale. But I'm not going to memorise all these. I'd be here all day. I'm going to read them off this cheat sheet down here. The modes of the melodic minor scale, which would be the melodic minor, the Phrygian sharp 6th, now I have to cheat, the Lydian augmented, the Lydian dominant, then one that is unnamed in this book, that's okay, then Locrian sharp 2nd, and then the altered scale. The names are intimidating enough, the sounds are even stranger. So you might already be familiar with the minor, or the melodic minor sound, that over a minor chord, let's say G minor, that I've got a loop of, that I have to use my hand for rather than my foot. Over a G minor chord, I can play G natural minor, or I can play the G melodic minor, that would sound like this. You can hear it's got its own distinctive sound characteristics, that raised 7th, that major 7th, that forces it to sound different to a natural minor scale. So I got used to that sound. So what I started doing was experimenting with modes of the melodic minor scale. More specifically, I jumped in at the 2nd mode of the melodic minor scale. I refer to it as a Phrygian with a sharp 6th, and more specifically an A Phrygian with a sharp 6th. So to compare that, a Phrygian mode is root, flattened 2nd, that's a very characteristic note, flattened 3rd, 4th, 5th, flattened 6th, flattened 7th. The Phrygian with a sharp 6 as the name, or the major 6th as the name suggests, is root, flattened 2nd, flattened 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, flattened 7th. Let me get this loop going. So I've got the loop going. It's an A minor chord, not really, it's just the notes A and C, which imply an A minor chord. And I'm going to play this horrible mode of the melodic minor scale, the second mode, that I first heard and I thought, oh, that is ghastly. And then stuck with it and just got this acquired taste for it and just heard its unique characteristics. I'm pointing at there, that's that raised sixth, or that major sixth. There it is again, F sharp in this case. I was playing it and I thought, I can't make this work. Well, I suppose I still can't, but you're going to hear later my experiment, just a bit of a jam track that I created, that I started to get it to phrase a bit more and try and do all the tried and tested shreds, patterns, all this stuff, all that stuff in there, just to make it sound more like me. And because you don't want scales to play music for you, so I tried to put my own licks into that pattern. Over this backing track, I did this backing track and then I thought, alright, let's really go out there. I switched to the fifth mode, which would be, in this case, D mixolydian, has been dictated by the mode of the melodic minor scale to be the mixolydian with a flattened sixth. Creates this sound, which again was an acquired taste. You'll hear it shift in the backing track later, but this is it just isolated. For anyone who's familiar with that mixolydian sound can hear that flattened sixth comes into it and just changes it, makes it a bit uglier. So I created my own backing track just on Cubase. This is how I work. When I learn or want to internalise music theory, I create my own jam tracks on Cubase and then just play mindless lead over the top of them. So what you're going to hear is that the A Phrygian sharp 6 followed by a D mixolydian flattened sixth. In other words, modes 2 and 5 of a melodic minor scale. It really pushes the boundaries of taste. You can see I'm out of my depth in parts anyway. Here's how it sounded. So there you go, a bit of a riff at the end there as well. I don't even know what that backing track was, but I had fun. It was a very strange genre of music, a bit fusiony. It's all in order to get me to push the boundaries and to go beyond what I'm into at the minute. I'm searching for a sound. I've not yet released music on an official level. It is going to happen one day, and I don't know where it's going to be, what kind of music it's going to be. I love experimenting with this kind of stuff though, and I also love the fact that I can document it here, but also with a slight edge of wanting you to do the same, of what's the word when you make influence other people to go, yeah, okay, I know what the minor pentatonic scale says, okay, I know what the Dorian says, like, go beyond, push yourself, see what taste you can acquire. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Anthony Couch. I'm off to go and practice my Phrygian major 6th scale mode, second mode of a minor melodic minor.